Today's lesson is over simple interest. The formula for simple interest is I equals PRT. It's P times R times T. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define each variable. So what is I? I is interest. Okay. Now interest is money owed on top of like money borrowed. So let's say you're going to take out a loan for $10,000. Okay. You are going to pay interest or additional money. When you pay off that loan, you don't pay off just $10,000. You're probably going to pay off $13,000 or $14,000, okay? Because there's money being accrued each month on or each year, however it's set up, on the amount you borrowed. Does that make sense? Okay? So it's like it's kind of a penalty for borrowing somebody else's money because you didn't have the cash on hand. Does that make sense? P is principal. This is not like our school principal. What this is like, this is the principal or the money that you borrow or you invest. It's the initial amount, okay? So it's going to be money deposited, money borrowed, money invested, stuff like that, okay? Loan amount, okay? Your R stands for rate. But it's very important that you write your rate as a decimal, okay? Because we are going to be doing the math, so you have to make sure you're calculating your rate as a decimal. And then T is time. Now you have to pay attention because this is time in years, all right? So if they say something about 6 months, that's half of a year, okay? T is time in years only. Okay, now something that's very important, it's important that you understand that the amount of interest plus the principal, okay, is going to equal, so you have I plus P equals your total amount in the account, okay, or it's going to be like the total amount due. Okay, so here we go. Examples. Now I'm going to be 100% honest. With these problems for simple interest, they're going to be word problems. As long as you pull out the information, you're going to be just fine. We are multiplying P times R times T. Okay? Now I have a saying. You have to understand we're going to learn the first part today and the next part, the second part tomorrow. Simple interest, simple equation. Simple interest, simple equation. Say it with me. Simple interest, simple equation. Okay, because you're going to learn two different equations. But every time you see simple interest, you're going to say, oh, simple interest, that's my simple equation. And you're going to be able to pick it out. Because this equation right here is pretty easy to memorize. I equals PRT, right? Okay, here we go. Find the amount of interest and total amount in the account after depositing $1,900 at 5.9% for 2 3/4 year. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the information we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write I equals P R T. Okay, so we're going to pull out the information. We're going to put it whichever variable it belongs to. Okay, do we know the interest? No, because it's asking me to find it. Okay, so I don't know the interest. That's a question mark. Okay, the principal amount. So what am I starting with? What am I depositing? What's my loan amount? What's my investment? What am I starting with? 1900. What's my rate? Okay, 5.9%, but we have to change that to a decimal. So you drop your percent and you move the decimal 2 places to the, so you get 0.059. And then for years, it has 2 3/4. Well, we'll change that to a decimal to make it easier. 2.75. All right. So now I know what P, R, and T, PRT stand for. So now I just have to find the I. That's my first question. So I'm going to write Y, or I guess you're saying Y. I equals PRT. You're just multiplying all three numbers together. So I equals 1,900 times 0.059 times 2.75. So somebody with a calculator, Tell me what that is. Just multiply all three together. Okay, $308.28.
Yeah,
28 cents. Now remember, we're talking money, so we got to round it according to money, okay? Now, I answered the first question, the interest, but now it asked me for the total amount in the account. Well, how do I find the total amount in the account?
add the I and the P.
Yep, I plus P equals total. So, I plus P equals total. All right, so what's my I? 308.28. What's my P?
1900.
Plus 1,900. You add that together and we get our total, which is what? $2,208. And remember, it's money, 28 cents. So there's your second answer. Pretty simple, right? Simple interest, simple equation. Now, the next two questions are also easy. We just have to make sure we know what they are asking, and then we're all okay, all right? So let's look at it. Anna invests $2,500, that's important, invest, at a rate of 5%. How long until she has, that we missed a word here, $1,125 in interest, okay? So how long is it going to be until she has that much in interest? So we have I, P, R, T. Now listen to me. Take this advice. If you will list out I, P, R, and T, and you will put the numbers associated with that, it makes this so much easier. Instead of you trying to go back in the word problem and picking out the information, pull it to one section and then just work with the equation, okay? So do we know what I is?
No.
Yes.
1,125. Do we know what P is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's 2,500.
2,500. What is R?
5%.
5%, but we need it as a decimal, so what would that be?
0.05.
Do we know what T is? No, we don't know what time is because it asked us how long. So we have to find our T, okay? So here we go. Let's write out our equation again. I equals PRT. Our I is 1,125 equals 2,500 times our rate is 0.05, and we don't know what T is. So, using our equation rules, what do we do first?
Try to keep the variable to itself.
Huh?
Move everything else away from the variable.
Well, no.
Combine like terms first.
Yeah, multiply them. So multiply those two. Because we want to simplify as much as we can on each side, correct? So what is 2,500 times 0.05? 125 times T. Now, how do I isolate T? Divide by 125. So T is what? 9 what? Days, hours, minutes, years. 9 years. It's going to take 9 years for her to get $1,125 in interest.
That's a long.
Okay? But if you leave the money sitting there and it gains interest by itself, you're good, right? Because she invested, so that means she probably deposited this in an account and she just didn't touch it for 9 years. Okay? All right. Joe deposited $360 into his savings account. Well, that's important. So I'm going to, this is important. He deposited 4.75 years. He had $375.55 in his account after that amount of time. What is the interest rate? Okay. IPRT. Now, what are they asking me for? What's the question asking? The rate. So I'm going to go ahead and put a question mark right here. How long did he have this loan? 0.75. How much did he invest for his principal? 360. Do we automatically know the interest already?
Yes.
What is it?
377.
Reread, and a lot of students make that assumption, but reread that statement. He had $377.55 in his account. So what's that telling me?
Now you spent it or put more.
Okay, so he deposited 360. Are you with me? And then after 75 years, he had 377.55.
360.
So it's, hold on, I heard the answer, and then I heard how to solve for it. So hold on, y'all said at the same time. You said that the interest was what?
17.55.
Okay, you said the interest was $17.55. How did you get $17.55?
Me, you add or you subtract 360 from 377.
Okay. You used I plus P equals total. Either way you did it is correct. I'm just going to write it out, okay? We didn't know what the interest was, but we knew the principal was 360. The total amount in the account was $377.55. So what he said is, he said, hey, you just subtract the principal from the total. You're correct. I equals, I guess I could do capital I and stay with it, $17.55. Great job. All right. So now I just have to find the interest rate, right? So here we go. I equals PRT. Oh, we do know the interest. Hold on. The I is $17.55. My principal is $360. My rate, I don't know. And my time is 0.75. So $17.55 equals, what do I do?
Multiply 360 by 0.75.
Okay, if you'll do that, please, and tell me what you get. 270. R, correct? So now what do I do?
Divide by 270.
Divide by 270. So, what is this? What equals R? 0.065. Now, I need this as a percent, right? My answer needs to be in a percent. So what do I need to do with my decimal? Two places to the right. So my rate is 6.5%. Okay? Great job. Thank you.